This conference will now be recorded.
Calling this meeting to order. I will be running the meeting as far as I know until the chair arrives. So we'll get started. Item number 1, roll call.
Thank you, Madam Treasurer. I see Mayor Ambrosio Hernandez, I believe, is on his way. And Mayor Trey Mendez is online. Thank you, sir. Mayor David Suarez. Here. And we've got Jim Darling is on his way also. Mayor Norma Sepulveda is here. Judge Aurelio Guerra. Here. Commissioner David Garza. Here. Hidalgo County, I was hoping that Commissioner Fuentes would be here, but I don't think so. Commissioner J.R. Garza. Here. Councilman Johnny Garcia. I don't think he's on the line. Mayor Rick Salinas. Here. Who's that popped up? Let's see, Commissioner Omar Quintanilla. Commissioner Ruben Saldana from Mercedes. Thank you for filling in for the mayor. Mayor Nori Gonzalez Garza. Mayor Gus Olivares. Present. Commissioner Edward Garza. I believe he's on the line. There he is. Mayor Rick Guerra. Commissioner Marco Viegas. Mayor Alma Salinas. Ms. Veronica Gonzalez. Here. Mr. Paul Hernandez. Ms. Claudia Hernandez. Mr. Troy Allen. Here. Mr. Ronald Mills. Here. Mr. Eleazar Garcia Jr. is on GoToMeeting. And Mr. Sergio Contreras.
Here.
Can you turn your camera on, sir?
Yes, I'm trying to, but you'll see a different. I'll do it through my phone now. I'm having issues, but yes, you'll get it on your short.
Okay, thank you. Ms. Lupita Sanchez Martinez. I see you there. Here. Thank you, ma'am. Madam Chair, you have a quorum.
Thank you. Moving on to the invocation.
Let us pray. Dear Lord, bless us as we gather here today to conduct business that will affect the citizens of the Rio Grande Valley. Give us the clarity of mind and to act in their best interest, not ours. We ask that you bless our speakers and our board members here today. May we grasp those things that you want us to understand, and may our actions and our attitudes please you this day. We pray these things in your almighty name, Jesus Christ. Amen.
Amen. Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Item number 2, consideration and action to approve the meeting minutes. Do we have a motion to?
I so move.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Item 3, public comment. Do we have anyone signed up for public comment?
No, I'd heard that somebody was going to, but we haven't received any requests.
Okay. Having no public comment, we'll move on to item number 4. Manny, consideration and action to adopt the resolution 2022-02. And consideration and action to adopt annual investment policy and accept quarterly investment report.
We're going to do a presentation. We had a building explode and certain individuals came to the rescue.
Okay.
That's going to take a minute.
Okay.
Okay, thank you, Madam President. This item, it's a special occasion today. We are going to recognize a few of our staff members. And so before we present, we do have a resolution. We kind of tried to have this a surprise. Didn't know until yesterday, I believe. And so I'll first read the introduction and then I'll pass it over to Ms. Dearlum so she can read the resolution. As you know, the damage caused by natural disasters such as earthquakes, hurricanes, tornadoes, floods, or from man-made technological events such as explosions or hazardous material incidents can affect all aspects of the community, from government services to private enterprises and civic activities. When disaster strikes, in 95% of all emergencies, bystanders or victims are the first to provide emergency assistance or perform a rescue. Today, I'd like to take this opportunity, and we are honoring our very own staff who did just that, responded to an explosion that took place just 50 feet away from our CETO Building D, which is the other building far on the west side of our complex. In their response, they immediately and without hesitation assisted a worker at El Rincón Natural y Más who was inside when the building exploded. Uh, Through media sources, we've learned that 50% of the woman's body was covered in second and third degree burns, and she's still in the hospital over at the Brooks Army Medical Center in San Antonio. We honor them today by adopting the attached resolution and presenting them with the LRGVDC Medal of Valor, which is the first of its kind. At this time, I'd like to ask Madam President if you could join me up here in front, and I will call the individuals. If individuals, as I call your name, please come up and join us up at the front at the podium or over here at the center stage. And so the individuals would be Cesar Merla, Marilu Fuentes, Rolando Flores, Jaime Garza, Emmanuel Escobedo, Beatriz Hernandez, Yvonne Desinga, Lisa Alfaro, and Mary Rojas. If you all could please join us up at the front. And I'll ask Ms. Sarah Dearlum to come up here to read the resolution. And Mayor, if you could join us with the staff.
Resolution 2022-02, whereas the Lower Rio Grande Valley Development Council is a designated council of governments serving Cameron, Hidalgo, and Willacy counties, and whereas the LRGVDC follows guidelines set forth in the LRGV Regional Strategic Plan, which includes the Public Safety Vision Statement to enhance and provide sufficient resources to improve the capability of local governments, communities, and individuals to prepare for, respond, and recover from emergency and weather-related events and incidents. And whereas on October 3rd, 2022 at 8:03 a.m. in Wasaco, Texas, LRGVDC staff jumped into action to save a life of a fellow citizen after an explosion occurred due to a natural gas leak at a structure across from the LRGVDC CETO building at the intersection of Es Palmas and Railroad Street. And whereas the following LRGVDC staff members, Cesar Merla, Marilu Fuentes, Rolando Flores, Jaime Garza, Emmanuel Escobedo, Beatriz Hernandez, Yvonne Deziga, Lisa Alfaro, and Mary Rojas rushed to help a restaurant worker and ushered her away from the collapsed structure and rubble, called 911, and provided first aid until ambulatory services arrived. And whereas LRGVDC staff continued to assist and shield the victim from debris and possible secondary explosions as the structure continued to sustain further damage. And whereas staff's quick thinking and courageous actions saved the victim from sustaining further injuries and averted what could have been a tragic loss of life. Now, therefore, be it resolved by the LRGVDC President and Board of Directors that this governing body recognizes the LRGVDC staff risked their own lives to save the life of another. and take great pride in expressing our appreciation for their professional and quick actions during this disaster. In recognition of their heroic actions, the President and Board of Directors award the aforementioned staff members LRGVDC Medals of Valor and directs the LRGVDC Executive Director to make this resolution as part of the permanent records of the LRGVDC. It is adopted this day, the 26th of October, 2022.
And at this time, the mayor will present the medals to each staff. Staff, as you get the medals, can you please put them on? We're going to take a group photo right after. Should we get everybody? Thank you. And finally, I do want to give thanks, special thanks to Ms. Margarita Lopez. She is our Area Agency on Aging Director. As you know, with these type of events, there are tragedies, obviously, and not only do the survivors or the victims are affected, but also the responding individuals and first responders. And so Ms. Lopez jumped into action. We actually held everybody here in this room and provided critical crisis counseling for the staff. So it was a very, very organized, aftermath, unfortunately. And so, as you can see, we have the very first Medal of Valor. We hope that we don't ever issue these out again, but if we ever do, we have one to do so, and they will live forever in the archives of the Lower Rio Grande Valley Development Council. So thank you.
What a blessing to have so many courageous staff members to answer to the call of action. So do we have a motion to adopt the resolution? Do we have a second?
Second.
Favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Item 4B is consideration and action to adopt the annual investment policy and accept quarterly investment report.
Good afternoon. Staff recommends the readoption of the investment policy. And as the third quarter was submitted for review, if there are no questions, it requires board action.
There were no changes to the policy, right?
No, sir.
Okay.
Okay. We had a second? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Thank you.
Thank you. Item 4C, demonstration by the Texas Agri-Life Better Living for Texans. Ms. Cantu?
My name is Karen Campbell. I work for Texas Agri-Life Extension. under the Better Living for Texas program. So the programs that we do are focused more for the underserved communities. So we get our funding through the SNAP Ed and also through the Health Human Services Commission. The programs that we provide are for adults, older adults, and also for kids. The programs we provide are completely free for SNAP eligible participants or SNAP participants. The programs that we do, get a little bit closer. The programs that we do are focused on nutrition, physical activity, and then I have my colleague who does the gardening. So we go into the schools, we teach about nutrition, we have different programs on different topics, and then also we have the gardening where they go and they actually do the gardens there. They teach you how to garden, and I've seen the stuff they come up with, tomatoes, bok choy, cabbage, different things like that, that we're showing our community how to build these gardens, teaching them how to eat these fresh fruits and vegetables, and how to provide better resources for our communities. I did hand out some of the, like, a little bit of information about Better Living for Texans. Our focuses are increasing fruit and vegetable intake. Of course, we want to have healthier, I guess healthier, I would say, um, habits, because a lot of the times we're kind of like in a fast-paced base of our lives, and having these easier fruits and vegetables to eat at home would be a lot better. Food resource management, so also how to better take care of the foods we have and how to take care of our bodies with food safety. So making sure, one thing is don't wash your chicken. That's something that we show our participants the reasons why we shouldn't do that. Also improving access to fruits and vegetables through gardening, like I mentioned, my colleague Andrea Torres Barragan, along with other assistants that we have, Roy and Ricardo. And then increasing physical activity. So a lot of the times we're on our phone a lot of the times, or we're watching TV, and we're trying to make it more easier for you to go outdoors. A lot of the stuff that I have, we give them out to our participants because we want to aid them on their healthy living. So we give them educational reinforcing items. So we have like measuring cups, measuring spoons. We have like our brushes and peelers so they can brush their carrots, potatoes, and then they can peel them afterwards. We have like little minutes, so if they're cooking something in the oven, they don't get burnt. For our kids, we have like little aprons, and they get super excited when I give it out. They want to wear it real quickly. So something like that is awesome for them to get them also to be in the kitchen and learn how to make these healthier food choices. For our older adults, I love giving out resistant bands. A lot of them love it because it's not too hard for them to do. Along with like water bottles for our educational physical activity programs, and then we have these called roll the dice. So they come with like the numbers, and then the other one comes with the exercises that they can do at home. It's nothing that is too hard for them. It's those easy like squats, punches, things that they can do at home. Along with what the programs are food demonstrations. So what I'm going to show you all is a nopalito dip. It's like a pico de gallo added with nopales. I feel like down here in South Texas, we love nopalitos, so hopefully you all like it. I provided everybody with some and then some chips for you all to eat with that too. The nopalitos are from a jar, but of course you can always make them at home, or you can just eat them also raw. So up to you all. So what you will need is nopalitos. I have mine already cut up. Nopalitos have vitamin B, iron, fiber, vitamin C, vitamin K. They may improve digestion and they have antiviral properties. Next, I'm gonna add some tomatoes. So tomatoes have antioxidants. They reduce the risk for heart disease, cancers like stomach cancer, prostate, and lungs. And of course, they have a lot of different vitamins like vitamin C, potassium, vitamin K. So I'm just going to give this a little mix. Next, I'm gonna add some onions. The onions also have a lot of vitamins and nutrients. They are rich in B vitamins, vitamin C, and of course they help with metabolism. So if you're looking for something like that, I need some. And one thing about Better Living for Texans also is we always want to encourage using different colors of fruits and vegetables. So here you can see where you can see the green, the red, the white with the onion. So we want to make sure that a lot of our kids, and of course you all, also adults, you're getting a lot of different vegetables and fruits. So the more you add in, the more different fruits and vegetables and vitamins you're going to be having in your dishes. Next, I'm going to add some cilantro. So just a little bit of there. So cilantro 2, research has found that cilantro may improve health benefits in forms of reducing the risk of heart disease, diabetes, obesity, and seizures. So if you have family members who have those, it was going to help with that. Of course, one fun fact about cilantro is some people have a genetic mutation where for them it tastes like soap. I did not know that, so it's very interesting. I do have one friend who she's like, I don't like it. It tastes like soap for me, but it's something interesting to take into account. So if you see somebody who's like, I don't like cilantro, that might be why. Next, I'm gonna add some salsa verde. So the salsa verde, I just have like the mild, and that's what I used in yours. I didn't want it to be too spicy. But of course, you can always use mild. Add some jalapenos. If you want to add some purple onions instead of the white onion, you can always add that in. So I just go with the normal store bought. A lot of the time too, with our BLT programs, we also want to make sure that the fruits and vegetables that we talk about during our classes are our program, sorry, our participants are able to access them easily, and that they aren't super cost like expensive, and they're cost effective for them, and that they're easy recipes that they could create at home. I always let my participants know if you have a pulga, you like the pulga, the one in Alamo, or we have one. I'm from Palmview, so there's one in Palmview. Go there. All those fruits and vegetables are good. Just because they're not from like HEB doesn't mean they're not bad. So I always encourage them to go to the pulga and have that. 'Cause I go to the pulga. Next, I'm gonna add some garlic salt, so just a little bit, just so it could give it a better flavor. And then I'm gonna add some cumin as well. So going back to, I feel like our roots down here in South Texas, I feel like we use a lot of like cumin in our foods, and of course, it also has a lot of health benefits. And then lastly, I'm just gonna add some lime juice. So the lime juice also is high in vitamin C, fiber, supports heart health, and also weight control, digestion, prevents kidney stones, protects against anemia, and anti-cancer properties. So you can see where this dish has a lot of different properties regarding vitamins, minerals, and of course helping protect our body from diabetes, obesity, things like that. And here we go. We have it ready to go. I hope you all like it. There's some in the back too if y'all want to grab some. So thank you so much. I don't know if anybody has questions. Are there any questions?
Dig in.
Ms. Cantu.
That I don't know, but they are unsalted
They're
chips.
gluten free.
So a little bit healthier than the salted chips.
The fajitas are coming in right now, right?
Yeah, they're on their way.
Okay.
I just want to say real quick, man, great energy, great presentation. Excited, we get excited to listen to someone that have a positive attitude and doing a great job.
Thank you so much.
Great job.
Thank you, Ms. Cantu.
Thank you. So board members, you saw it, coming soon, LRGVDC Iron Chef. All right. Board members, be ready.
Hey, for all the cities, I've seen their demonstrations. I know I was in Rio Hondo not too long ago, and they had a supper demonstration that evening, and it was great. These folks do a fantastic job for our area. They've been doing it for many years, and it's always fun to be around them.
And tasty.
And tasting, of course, the food, the healthy food.
Yes. Wonderful. So moving on to the executive director report.
Yes, ma'am. On this item D, Executive Director's report, the report was sent out in advance. We open it up for questions if anybody has any. One of the items of interest that I had for you, well, actually, first I'll do the introduction of new staff. Sorry about that. So we did have quite a bit of new staff that joined the LRGVDC, mostly in our Valley Metro transportation. And so I'll just read the names really quick. We had Mr. Hector Sáenz, Erica Salazar, Edgar Sanchez, Oscar Aguirre, Christy Rodriguez joined our HR team, Gilbert Luna, our Regional Police Academy, Mística Regalado, and Carlos Martinez, Valley Metro. And the last three are Valley Metro as well. Sergio Torres, Dora Villarreal, and Dimitri Reger. Sorry if I messed up that name, but that's how I pronounced it. So the next item, item number 2, updates on regional news, funding opportunities, training, and legislative updates. Like I mentioned earlier, the province the report was in your tablets sent in advance. One of the item of interest that they reached out to me, in particular, State Representative Oscar Longoria. As you may recall, he did introduce House Bill 3139, and that's the option to attend virtual meetings. Last week, they reached out to me to see if the board was interested for them to refile that bill to continue with a virtual option. And so it's not an action item, but any comments that are provided, if you're in favor of it, I can surely take it back to them and say yes or no, whatever the wishes of the board are. Yes. Yes. Okay.
What did this House bill do? Because it's already state statute. What actually is this? Is this,
That allows for
that allows for what?
refile. They have to refile the bill according to their
Entities that
chief.
cover three counties or?
For as far as I'm concerned, as far as I'm aware, it covers any government entity board meeting that takes place, whether it's our board of directors or even our advisory committee meetings that we have. And so it allows for virtual participation. Of course, there's other rules that are associated with it. Like we are doing it right now, the cameras have to be on, the chair or president has to be present to be able to have a quorum. So my understanding is they have to refile that bill again for it to continue. Yes. And I believe, Mayor Darling, did you have a question or comment?
Yeah, I had a question. Do you know if the bill allows us, but can we make it mandatory that we require attendance if the boards had so decided later on?
We could definitely present that. I mean, to require attendance to reach quorum, to require attendance
Yeah.
to meet.
Oh, because right now right, so if they're not in person, it's not part of the quorum, is that?
Well, it is part of the quorum, but their video has to be on at all times.
Okay.
And so, at times it's hard with not necessarily this board, but our advisory committee meetings to have virtual meetings because they can either not attend, and that's why we fail to meet quorum at times.
Interesting.
Mayor Darling is asking what?
If we can include the bill, reintroduce the bill, refile the bill, but add in it to require quorum be met,
The location.
whether it in person or virtually. Both.
But
Yes.
that is the way, because I thought it was the other way. I know that in the city, that's how we have run the meeting, that if you're not in person, you don't have a quorum. So maybe we misinterpreted.
No, and it's for the counties and cities a little bit different because this only pertains to 3 counties or more. Anybody who has boards such as this board or from our Region M, I know we have people from El Paso, they can't come just for one day. And so that's where this bill would be used. But at 3 counties or more, it gives you the option to meet virtually.
So the ask from the mayor was to keep it the same, or?
Well, to include that if it's refiled, to add language that it must meet quorum, both within the meeting, whether it's in person or virtually, to make sure we have quorum.
No. I think he wanted it at the location. We must, that's the way I heard it. that
Let's ask,
he wanted-
Mayor Darling, can you restate?
Yeah, I want to know, like, if we're authorized, state authorizes us, would it still be up to us whether we said we would allow that or not? In other words, require attendance or not, just because the state allows us to do it, will we still have the option to require it?
Okay.
Entity by entity deciding.
Yes.
Whether it's going to be statewide with that rules.
Killing self driving over here, man.
And I'll tell you why, because
I love
like
it.
I'm reaching that, the quality of meetings is not the same unless we have a good group here, but when we went to almost 2 or 3 people showing up and everything else the quality of meetings is terrible. And so if we had I was asking if we have the option to say, as a COG, we're going to require attendance or not. That's what I wanted to know. And I think that ought to be in the bill if it's not. It should be up to the board instead of then, if they do the bill, we do it, and it's up to members, that's hard to, we're not going to enforce.
So, okay. I'll pass that information on and hopefully they can add that language into it.
And I wasn't speeding down the expressway. My question would be this, I mean, I just joined the board a couple of days ago, right? So we're having a problem with it here? Because the time that I've been here, I think we've been pretty well, people with the attendance, right?
Right.
So is it something that we have an issue with people not showing up?
Not to my knowledge. We've had quorum for the past 2 years, even through COVID. And this is just them asking if they want us to refile or for them to refile the bill.
I mean, I think if it's working for this group, I would figure continue working as is, but that's just my recommendation.
And
Would that bill only apply here or would it be
no,
statewide?
statewide.
For 3 counties or more.
Right, where the meeting is.
And since it's an option, I believe any board, has that authority to make it mandatory for everybody to attend in person or keep it virtual. So, but I'll relay that information. And that concludes my report. If there's, or actually I do have, in the attachment, I did provide a list of the upcoming 88th legislative session objectives. These are developed at the Texas Association of Regional Councils, which are liaisons in Austin that assists us with any legislative or any projects, funding, so forth. And so these are the priorities that either affect positively or negatively all the COGS within the state of Texas, all 24 councils of governments. And we will keep you up to date on any of these bills that come up. They're pretty good about sending us information on the status of all the bills. And so as we move forward in January, we'll keep you up to date with everything that's going on. That concludes my report.
Thank you. Item number 5, department reports, community and economic development. Mr. Carrera.
Good afternoon, Madam Treasurer, everybody on the board, and good to see everybody here. No action items needed this month. I do have several updates to share with you all. One, thank you to UTRGV for inviting us to their Texas Stars. The Texas Stars is a National Science Foundation consortium, or a consortium designed to go after National Science Foundation funding. We were able to share some findings of an economic resiliency study that we've undertaken. Actually, we've had a third-party consultant undertake for us. It was for the most part, a positive experience. I think it was a great venue to reveal those findings. And of course, our discussions with UTRGV continue. We're going to support them however we can on this. This endeavor encompasses, I believe, UTRGV, UTEP, and UTSA, and just about everybody in between. It's a rather sizable funding amount that's up for grabs. And I know Ron Garza's championing this event for the region, so he's doing an excellent job with that. And we wanted to extend the thanks for him allowing us to share those findings with everybody. A lot of EDOs were there, and actually some of the folks that were in the room with us today were there as well. Number 2, our next solid waste advisory committee meeting is scheduled for November 29th at 10 a.m. Please put that in your calendars. That will be a hybrid event in person here as well as online through GoToMeeting. We'll have Texas State University present their latest findings when it comes to tire disposal and tire reuse when it comes to scrap tire. The next Regional Water Resource Advisory Committee is December 13th. At first, we had one nomination up for grabs, institution for the position for Institute of Higher Education. As of last week, I found out that there's now another. So we have 2 nominations out, and I sent out the nomination forms to the RURAC committee yesterday and the RURAC members. So we have 2 spots open, Small City Representative and Institute of Higher Education. I asked everybody to have those back to me by the Friday before that Tuesday date, which I think is the 9th. Regional Small Cities Coalition meeting is December 8th. I'm announcing that now because we're not having a meeting in November, and this meeting will occur before the next board meeting. So I just want to let those on board who attend Regional Small Cities Coalition meetings to attend those. If you are a member or if you are part of a small city, 25,000 population or less, and you're not familiar with this meeting, by all means, reach out to me. I'll be more than happy to fill you in on the details of the meeting, and by all means, you're more than welcome to attend. And of course, we enjoyed several national night outs, one in Yolo County Sheriff's Office, and 4 in Willacy County. Thank you, Judge Guerra, for the invitation to participate in those excellent events. We're all happy, and staff, we enjoy those events immensely. We like getting out with the community as much as we possibly can. So we certainly thank you all for that invitation. Those are all my updates for today, other than the lake levels and the water levels.
Region M, as of last Friday, we're up to 38%.
The US side and the reservoir system's up to 38%, which doesn't sound like a lot, but we were at 20 about 60 days ago. So there's some inflow going. So keep look at your conservation ordinances, make sure your citizens are abiding by them, and pray for rain.
Thank you, Mayor Darling. And I will close with that. We are starting to watch the drought monitor again, because I know at one point we were out of drought status, but we have not received a lot of rain over the past 3 or 4 weeks. And the latest forecast indicates that we may not get a whole lot between now and the end of the year. So once again, pray for rain. I did have a discussion yesterday with Barry Goldsmith, National Weather Service, and he echoed those comments. And that concludes my report. I'm open for questions.
Rick, if I would add just one thing.
Sure.
On behalf of the Region 15 Rio Grande Valley Flood Planning Group, to thank you guys here for allowing us to have our public meeting last week. I know we've reached out to every community out there, and there's big dollars available or will be made available in the very near future for projects. If it's appalling to think that we've got a draft plan that we've developed in the course of the last 18 months, and you have 2 projects in the city of FAR that are in the plan, and that is it for the whole region, a 15-county region. Okay. There are not enough folks participating in either evaluation, strategies, or projects moving forward. So again, we presented the draft plan last week. We are going to finalize a plan to submit in January to the Texas Water Development Board as a region. Only those projects in that plan are going to be eligible for funding for the next 5 years from the Texas Water Development Board. So if your project is not either an evaluation, a strategy, or a project, you're going to be out of the picture for 5 years. And there's $1 billion at the state that are going to be eventually distributed, that someone is going to get, that at least 2 of your projects are on there. So reach out. Okay.
Thank you, Commissioner.
And thank you all for hosting us and doing a hybrid meeting, because that's the only way we get everybody here at the same time.
Yeah, I think we had 40 online and about 20,
44
and about 20 here present. And I know in Laredo, for whatever reason, they couldn't do hybrid option. I think they had 15 or 20 there.
Yeah.
But I will go ahead and echo the commissioner's comments that there's a lot of money for grabs. I know that the consulting firm working on this sent out a survey several months back, probably almost a year ago now. And I think perhaps maybe some of the people got deterred or maybe intimidated by the length of that survey, but don't let the survey intimidate you. If you have projects that you want to bring on board and let everybody know that these are important, this is your chance, because making amendments to this thing, I don't even know if that's going to be an option.
It's not going to be an option.
Right. So this is your chance, and the commissioner is correct. There's a lot of money up for grabs. Everybody knows if flooding is an issue just about throughout the area. And don't assume that just everybody knows that your area floods. I think that's the other problem, is that those who are up close and personal with our neighborhoods and our normal day-to-day activities, we go through areas that flood every time it rains, and we assume that people know that that's the case. That may not be the case. Even if it's the obvious, bring it to the Region 15 Flood Planning Group. And with that, I will bid you all adieu. Thank you all.
Thank you. Item 5B, Health and Human Services, Ms. Lopez.
Good afternoon, everyone. I do have 3 action items for your consideration. The first one is consideration and action to approve new contractor vendor applications for fiscal year 2023. The list is in your packets. I believe we have 57 vendors who were able to comply with all required documents and completed the application accordingly. The Advisory Council recommends approval of the new contractor vendor applicants for fiscal year 2023. These services will be utilized to provide residential repairs, transportation, health maintenance, respite, and homemaker services to the clients in the 3 county areas.
Do we have a second? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Thank you. Second action item, consideration and action to extend the subrecipient contract for 1 year. The Advisory Council recommends approval to extend the subrecipient contract for 1 year from October 1, 2022 through September 30th, 2023. The list of our current subrecipients includes WellMed, Amigos del Valle, the City of Rio Hondo, City of La Joya, City of Los Fresnos, and the Mission Housing Authority.
Move to approve.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Thank you. Third, request for your consideration and action to approve new member to the Citizen Advisory Council. The Advisory Council recommends approval to add new member, Ms. Deborah Lachico.
Do we have a second? Second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Thank you. My updates for each of my departments are in your packets. If you have any questions, we'll be more than happy to answer those. We are actually continuing to work and very excited about our Veterans Fair that I had mentioned last month. That will take place here in the parking across the street from this building. It's going to be on Wednesday, November 16, and the entire Council of Government here will be taking part on that. So if you know of any veteran or their families that may benefit from swinging by and receiving things like heaters, we're going to have different kinds of vendors, but all the vendors that are going to be here, one way or the other, have a program that serve the veterans community. So we welcome you all to come and stop by. That's all I have. Does anyone have any questions for me today?
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, moving on to public safety. Read it.
Yes, Mr.
Oh.
Rene Perez, Program Supervisor.
Good afternoon, everyone. Today I have a couple of action items that I need to get voted on. The first one is consideration and action to approve the revisions of the Criminal Justice Advisory Committee bylaws and policies and procedures for year 2023 and 2024. Now, these bylaws are updated on a yearly basis as part of our deliverables, and it's something that we revise on every single year, and they get voted on and approved by the board of directors.
Anything of interest that changed?
The only thing that changed this year is on the conflict of interest, which I added it there in the bottom, that anybody that's sitting on the board, they will have to exclude themselves from voting on the entire fund source. So if someone from, let's say, Brownsville is on the board and they have a grant there, they're not going to be able to vote at all from the entire source. They have to exclude themselves from actually voting, not just the grant itself.
I thought that was automatic.
No, before it was they would exclude themselves just from the grant and they could still vote on other projects. Now they're going to exclude themselves from the entire fund source.
All those in favor say aye.
The second one is consideration and action to approve criminal justice advisory.
You know, before you go on, was that a recommendation from an auditor or something, or why?
When did it come up?
That came up because sometimes they had projects that, for example, they would vote very low on some, so their project would get scored higher. And I'm not saying something that would happen, but to alleviate that and for transparency, they would.
Okay, you answered my question.
Okay. I just trying to keep it as, yeah.
I didn't know that went on in today's world.
No. I'll stay quiet.
Move on.
Moving on.
The second one is consideration and action to approve Criminal Justice Advisory Committee Chair, Mr. Tom Hushen. He is the Emergency Management Coordinator for Cameron County, and he has been serving the CJAC Advisory Committee for several years now, and 2 years.
Number two, item number two.
Are you, yeah.
Yes, item no consideration action. Oh, I'm sorry. Consideration and action to approve Criminal Justice Advisory Committee. Now, this one is just the renewals on the memberships for members that have already been part of the committee. So this is not anything, these are not new members. These are current sitting members and they're renewing their memberships. So I just need the action and approval for their continuation of the committee.
Do I need to abstain?
You have a second? Second? All those in favor say aye. Opposed? Motion carries.
Sorry, I was moving on to the next one, which is the one I was talking about. Consideration and action to approve Criminal Justice Advisory Committee Chair, Mr. Tom Hushen. He has been with the committee for several years now, and the committee voted to have him as a chairperson again. He was up for renewal this year. His 2-year term was up, and everyone voted to continue to have him on board. And as I stated, he is the Emergency Management Coordinator for Cameron County.
Do we have a second? All those in favor say aye.
And lastly, everything I have are the status updates for the program. I'm willing to entertain any questions if anyone might have any questions regarding anything of the program, but that concludes my presentation for this part.
Did you need that on the record that you abstained?
No. Giving somebody more work.
I'm sorry, did you have updates or?
Yes, they're just programmatic updates. That way to alleviate time, I went ahead and they're on the packet. The only thing is that we've attended night outs within Willacy County, Cameron County. We've been active, trying to be active in all 3 counties, not just in one. So that's what we've been up to. You'll see the pictures up there. I know someone told me that because the LRGVDC has cell phone Sally, but we did take a picture with Chick-fil-A cows. So hopefully there's no resentment there. But yes.
Somebody's gonna get jealous.
Thank you.
Thank you, everyone.
The Regional Police Academy status report, Randy?
The status reports are your tablets that were sent in advance. Just to update, we had the BPOC class 215 graduate October 7th, I'm sorry. A total of 9 cadets graduated from that academy. The rest of the academies are ongoing. Some are scheduled to graduate at the end of the year and late or mid next year. That concludes my report.
Thank you. The Rio Grande Valley Emergency Communication District status report, Mr. Moreno.
Good afternoon, Board. We're just going to do updates. We did a program updates. Our GIS, our Geo MSAG achieved 100% geocoding matching. So we're currently, to include in that, we're currently in our final stages of our website, and we're beginning the starting stages of our new geo-enabled address ticketing system. With our community engagement, the month of October is one of our busiest months due to all the national night outs that we have in the region. Our 911 district encompasses Hidalgo and Willacy County. And I want to thank you all for reaching out to us where we can attend those night outs for you all. I do want to recognize our coordinator, Maribel Alonso. This month of August, September, and October, she attended over 48 events, making a big push to be in the community. She's also demonstrating good 911 practices when you call 911 and when you're addressing your home. Our IT team has been conducting audits and testing our resiliency of our new Viper 7 system. So we're out there we just did a new upgrade over the summer. So we're just testing to see what else we can do with our new 911 system. Another good upgrade is with our resiliency, we noticed that now if Raymondville is ever out of our network, they can go to our training PSAP, which is our main office, and they will be able to continue calls and operations there. So that's part of the new resiliency that we created with our Viper 7 system. In the back, you'll also find our summary of our text and calling and our address ticketing system. I'll have any questions if you guys have any. All right, thank you.
Thank you. Item D, Transportation Valley Metro Action Item. Ms. Dearlim?
Good afternoon. This item is consideration and action to approve our procurement for vehicles for Valley Metro. This is a combination of both replacement and expansion vehicles. All of them are being paid with our transportation development credits, so no local match is required. Makes it even better. Can I have a motion for approval? Thank you. That's a great question, Mayor. So typically we look, depending on the state of the vehicle, we either will donate that to another agency that may want to use them, or we use them for parts. We will also sell them to junkyard, depending on the state of the vehicle. It just depends.
Okay. And so we had a second, I think?
Yes.
Yes. Okay.
Yes.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Thank you.
So that unit, I'm sorry? It's 4 units, it's multiple. But are you referring to the one that's a replacement of a unit 1108 or the last one? 1108, so that's a high capacity vehicle that seats more than 35 individuals. So it's just a very, very long, very, very big bus. And that's the going cost for them right now. Well, we're not opposed to that, Mayor. No, ma'am. No. Maybe in the future we will move to that direction, but yes, right now, no. Thank you.
Thank you. And now, I think we already.
We do have a motion.
Yes. You're asleep, Commissioner. For the MPO status report. There's no report available.
No,
Okay.
Mr. Cannon or,
He's not.
there's no meeting after this one, no.
Okay, so item 6, executive session, real property matters pursuant to section 551.071, attorney consultation, and section 551.072, purchase, exchange, lease, or value of real property regarding certain real property located on North Milanos Road in the West Track subdivision, Westlaco, Texas. Do we have a motion to go into executive session? All those in favor say aye. Opposed?
Just some instructions for those of you that are in the room. We'll be going over to the next small boardroom. And for those that are online, you were sent a separate go-to link. Hopefully you have it. You can either log off from this one and log on to the next one. And Debbie just sent it to everybody again.
The time is 1:01 and
This conference will now be recorded.
No, they're gonna.
Pretty good.
I was lucky to get out of there.
Okay. Okay, the time is now 1:26 and we are back from executive session. We have item 6B. We reconvene into open session to consider action. Do we have a motion?
Where is it?
He's going to read.
Motion to move.
Commissioner, turn on your mic, please.
Move to approve the offer to purchase real property located on North Milanos Road in the West Track subdivision. Was that a second?
All those in favor say aye. Motion carries. Item number 7, new or unfinished business. We did have a gentleman that wanted to address the board briefly. He wanted to be on public comment, but wasn't able to make
Sign up
it.
on time?
Yes,
According to the agenda?
yes,
According to the
yes,
agenda item?
yes. No, it is not, but it's about a grant, is that correct?
It's an announcement that we just got. My name is Frank Castellanos. I'm with UMOS Incorporated. And I think I had mentioned to some of the components of the LRGVDC that we were anticipating this, made a presentation before the Small Cities Coalition here. So I wanted to give all of you an update. I spoke to the people at Amigos del Valle yesterday, and we're rushing to see if we can get this information out because we've been anticipating getting this funding. We were just announced that we were awarded almost $57 million to distribute assistance to about 75,000 farm workers and meat packers and farm laborers in 13 states. We, UMOS, USDA, USDA is a grantor.
You're with USDA?
No, I'm with the grantor that was successful here in Texas. With UMOS, it's United Migrant Opportunity Services. And we're currently operating Head Start programs here in Texas.
And have we, I guess, benefited from your organization in the past?
Yes, we have. UMOS has been here maybe 15, 18 years, and we've been operating everything from employment and training services to let's see, maybe 10 years ago, UMOS was the operator for the workforce board in Cameron County. UMOS operated 5 workforce centers. We've operated workforce centers for the state and for the Upper Rio, Laredo, that area of the state. So we've been in Texas for a long time. But right now we're operating Head Start centers. If you all remember the old Texas Migrant Council? Well, they went out of business, what, 4 or 5 years ago, 3 years ago? We're the replacement for them. And so we're operating on a schedule to try to get more funding for Texas and for South Texas. So we applied for this, and we were able to acquire this funding. We just got announced. So I'm in a rush to get as much information out as we can because it's competitive. There are 15 grantees that got money.
The pot of 63 million that people can apply for, is that what you're saying?
It was people can apply to receive relief money from this grant, and the amounts that people can receive is $600 per person. But it's all over the country. We got a pot of it, and we're operating in 13 states. But being from down here, I'm a little partial, so I want to make sure that we keep as much of that down here in Texas, and particularly in South Texas. And I think we've got a good shot at it because it is first come, first served. So we want to get it out to all of the chief elected officials, and this is where you all gather. And so we're going to be going out to visit with different cities and organizations as fast as we can. And we do have a director. And let me give you that person's name. So in case you might want to have your city manager.
All information, he can just
Oh, good.
disseminate it to
Let's
all-
do that. Let's do that.
Everybody's office needs to get it.
Great.
So that way we can look at it.
We can do that.
Then further utilize it.
That's great. Okay, real good. So I'll keep this brief, but I did want to get the information out. Okay?
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you.
And did we have any other new or unfinished business?
Just one announcement, if I may. Friday of this week, we have the extension of another piece of I-69. It's going to occur at the Kennedy-Willacy County line overpass. Everyone is invited. Love to have folks there. You know, as you all know, getting an interstate to the valley has been an endeavor that's gone on for many years. For some of us, you know, it seems like a lifetime, but we're adding a piece at a time. At 10 o'clock, Kennedy-Willacy line, and then at 2 p.m., we have an extension of the I-169 piece that goes from Interstate 2 to the port of Brownsville. And that unveiling of the sign there will occur at 2 p.m. on Friday also. So everyone is invited. Love to have you there and visit with us.
Isn't I-69 Central extending also?
Yeah, but there's no unveiling right now because that piece is not yet approved by the TxDOT Commission. Yeah, it's just waiting for
But
approval.
it's coming, right?
It's
Both-
coming. Oh, yeah.
Both 69, that's E69, Central 69.
Yeah. Yeah, this one is on, okay?
Right.
So,
So
yeah,
10 a.m.
we'll
and
take
2
any
p.m.
piece we can get.
Wonderful. Anything else? All right, so that is our meeting. We are adjourned. Next meeting is Wednesday, December 14th, 2022. There's no meeting in November. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Good to see you.